Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Uncharted 4 Crushing Difficulty walkthrough, and this is chapter 6, also known as Once a Thief. And this is also one of those exposition heavy chapters. There is not much action going on in this chapter, so it gives me the time to talk about a few other things while I have your attention. And I want to talk a little bit about the channel and upcoming videos. Because I have to admit, I haven't started recording my next walkthrough yet, because I haven't decided which game I'm gonna cover. There are no new games coming up right now that I feel that I want to cover, and I've said that in previous videos that one of the things I decided when I started this channel bit over a year ago was that I was only gonna cover games I want to cover. We have the new God of War game coming out in about a month. I may cover that one, I haven't decided, I'm not quite sure. It depends on how the game works. According to the developers, it's gonna be a bit more open. If I understood it correctly, it's not gonna be a simple hack and slash like the old games. Think it's gonna be a bit more of an RPG game. But I have pre-ordered the collector's edition of that game, so I thought I would take a stab at making an unboxing video. Because as it seems to me, unboxing videos have become quite popular nowadays. And I want to make this channel was supposed to be about video games in general. My main focus up to this point, or my only focus up to this point, has been to make walkthroughs for different games. But I also said that I will make some reviews. And I have tried to make reviews, I haven't posted any. And the problem is, for me to make a review, I have to be a bit lucky with the release of a game, because I am working full time. So I don't have as much time to play as huge channels that have thousands of subscribers. A really fun dream would be to be able to do this channel full time, but I don't have that time to invest. And right now I've been playing 2 new games and 1 old game. I'm actually playing 3 games at once right now. I'm playing the remaster of The Shadow of the Colossus, and also Secret of Mana and Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition. And that is quite a breach of principle for me. Because usually when I play, I don't know how you do it, but when I play a game, I usually just play one game at a time. I commit to that game, I give it all my focus, and grind through it. Is not the correct term, but I like to focus on one game at a time. I'm the same. It's the same with when I read books. I used to be a person that I could be reading 6 books at once, or I just place them in different areas of the house. Would have one in the living room, one in the bathroom, one in the upstairs bathroom, one in my bedroom. When I was living at home. My mom lives in a house, I live in an apartment, so I could maybe have 3 books in my apartment. But nowadays I try to focus on just one game at a time, because I have quite a big game collection. Because I never trade in games. Maybe I should. If I would listen to my girlfriend, I would trade in a lot more games than I do. But also I have quite a substantial backlog, because in certain periods of time I am very good at buying games and not so good at playing them. But as I said, right now I'm playing 3 different games. I'm enjoying Secret of Mana very much. I played a Super Nintendo version back when I was a kid. And I thought it was really fun. Never beat the game back in those days. And I'm looking forward to beating it now. Also, Shadow of the Colossus remastered. Or, yeah, it is a remaster, not a remake. I think it's fun. I haven't gotten that far into the game. I only taken down 5 colossi. Is that correct? Plural term of it. But it is so very heavy. The controls are super heavy in that game, and I think they have made it more fluent than it was. But it feels very heavy to control at times. So it's a bit on the slow side for my taste. But I guess it gets better further into the game. So I'm gonna commit to it and I'm gonna play through the entire game. Because I bought it, I paid 450 crowns for it, which is like 45-50 bucks, something like that. And as I said, also I'm playing Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition. And I said in about this game that sometimes your weapons feel really nerfed when you're playing this game. And that is something that I really come across in Darksiders 2 as well. Because I played through Darksiders 1. Really fun game. Liked it a lot. Also, quick note here. You're supposed to pickpocket this waiter. And how you do that is you focus on his back pocket and then just mash triangle. If you're quick, you can do it here on your second chance. I have always done it on my second chance. I'm not quite sure if it's possible to do it on the first chance you get. Not 100% sure, but I don't think so because it is quite a tight window. But anyway, going back to Darksiders. As I said, I'm playing Darksiders 2, and since I'm playing the Definitive Edition, there is a new difficulty in that game called Definitive Difficulty. In the first game there were 3 difficulties: easy, normal and apocalyptic. And here there are 4. And I think when it comes to designing a higher difficulty, one of the absolute laziest things you can do as a developer is to just nerf the player's weapons and give the enemies high damage output and give the player absolute 0 damage output. And sadly, I must say in Darksiders 2, that is exactly what they've done. I've put down or put in maybe 6 or 7 hours into that game up to this point, and something I've realized is that it's not very hard. As high as difficulties go, it is quite easy in the grand scheme of things. The biggest problem when you're playing this game is that all the boss fights so far have taken a really long time. Because the bosses I've fought up to this point are all very easy. They have 1 or 2 attacks, or they have maybe 2, maybe 3 even, which they always do in the same pattern. And once you learn that pattern, being a guy that has played, for example, Bloodborne, we have to memorize all the boss's attacks, all the enemies' attacks, just to get that upper edge, upper hand, whatever, to get that edge so you don't die. This becomes really easy. The biggest problem is not losing focus in a fight. Because I told one of my friends, I met a boss, it was a mini boss actually, that was a spider. He had 2 attacks. He screams and runs towards you, so you dodge out of his way. You hit him 2 or 3 times. He jumps up, and when he lands, he does an AoE attack, and you dodge back twice, so you get out of his AoE area. And then you just rinse and repeat.
No need to give me a hand or anything.
And it's a bit sad, because I really enjoy Darksiders 1, and this game is not as fun. Just because they decided to take this path. I'm not quite sure if it's better on apocalyptic difficulty. They actually changed the gameplay quite a lot. Because the first one was like the bastard love child between Legend of Zelda and God of War. And this is more of an RPG game. So I assume that when you get further into the game, you will get better weapons, so you don't have to grind as much to take down all the bosses. But going back to the channel and my plans for the future. As I said, I haven't started recording my next walkthrough yet. I haven't decided which game it will be, because I'm still a bit annoyed by the fact that I didn't make a walkthrough for Wolfenstein 2. And I've been thinking about taking another stab at it. Because it was quite a fun game, it wasn't as fun as the New Order and the Old Blood, or actually the New Order was, in my opinion, the best out of those 3 games. So I'm thinking about it. I think maybe I'll take a stab at it. I'm not gonna sit here and promise you anything, because I've done that mistake once before. And also, I'm very hyped about the new Metro game coming out.
Check this out. See that building with the radio tower?
And there's also 2 games I thought about covering, doing Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light. Not quite sure how I should approach them. I'm gonna check through the trophy list of the games and see what would be the best approach to do. I know there are probably hundreds, maybe thousands of walkthroughs up for them at this point, because they are quite old, those games. But to me it doesn't matter, because I do this because it's fun. And I want to keep the channel going while I wait for new games coming out that I really want to cover. For example, The Last of Us 2, which is yet to get a release date. By the way, this right here is a mistake on my behalf. What you're supposed to do when you get out of that door is head to the right, and there is a ladder. And for some reason, I hadn't played this game in over a year, like I mentioned before. And I lost track of where the hell I was supposed to go. So no need to go down there to the left. There is a collectible there if you want to pick it up while you're in the neighborhood, so feel free to do so. Whenever I remember a collectible, I always try to mention it. But as I said, I'm really psyched about the new Metro Exodus game coming. I really hope there will be a collector's edition, because I like collector's editions where you get one of those figurines. One of those editions that cost shitloads of money. They give you no in-game benefits, but you get a big plastic figurine that you can put on a shelf and then never look at it again. And I have quite a substantial collection. It's not huge. I have like maybe 15 or 16 figurines, which is actually more than any grown-up should have, but the only difference between men and boys are the price of their toys, as some wise person once said. Could actually be my girlfriend, because she thinks I am a bit childish at times. But when Metro Exodus comes out, I hope it will be a game that I can cover on my channel. And as I said, I'm thinking about covering the old games as well. Just because I really enjoy them. Maybe I should do a walkthrough for them for how to get the good ending. And also, I think there were some trophies in that game for not being spotted on different levels. As I said, I can't remember exactly. I'm gonna have to go into my PlayStation account and check through the trophy list and see what would be best to do. Basically, because there are no difficulty trophies in that game, so I will probably, if I cover them, I will be doing it on normal probably, just to make it as easy as possible for people. Because as you have seen in my walkthroughs up to this point, if there aren't any trophies for beating it on the highest difficulty, I skip it. Because I enjoy playing higher difficulties, but in a game, for example, like Dishonored, those strategies that I've used in my guides that I created for those games, I think, I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not gonna swear, but if you're playing it on the highest difficulties, or any of those games on the highest difficulty, those strategies will still be viable. They will work. I'm 99% sure. But in a game like that, or if you're playing through that game, and maybe, hopefully, using a walkthrough that I have created, it doesn't really matter whichever difficulty you play it on. They guaranteedly work on normal, and definitely on easy, because on easy, guards are basically blind. And I think they work on hard and very hard as well. I think there is a very hard difficulty, at least in that game. And someday I might play through them and try the same strategies that I used in my guides and see if they are viable for that difficulty as well. And now we're getting close to the end. I've been ranting on about this and that and everything and nothing for a bit over 16 minutes now. And now let's focus on this game for a little bit. Because the plan they have made up to be able to steal the cross we are here to get is that we will take out the electricity. So there will be a blackout and Sam can steal the cross in the meantime. And I'm not 100% sure, because you need to find a crowbar to get into that little fuse room, or where the main fuse box is. The only locked room in this entire place. And I'm not 100% sure. I know now that it's over in that plastic bucket, I think, or plastic thing. I'm not sure if it's always there. I think it is. I don't know why I went into that. But because when I started recording this, I was completely in the mindset that it was placed on the other side. But anyway, as soon as you get in there, you go into a cutscene where he kills the power, and we can head into chapter 7. So I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.